Yeah, welcome in. Welcome back to another episode of the Format Podcast. Man, obviously just got done with an amazing Super Bowl 57, and we're going to talk about that real quick. Just give my quick reaction and quick thoughts on the game. Probably be some more in-depth breakdown later in the week, but this will be quick thoughts. But before we get to that, you know what you got to do. Go ahead, click that subscribe, that like, and that notification bell on your screen if you're here on YouTube. If you want the audio-only version of the podcast, please go ahead, open up your audio podcast platform, type in the Format Podcast in the search bar, give us a little search. We should come up. Please give us that 5-star review. Leave a comment on YouTube or on your audio podcast platform. Helps us find more sports fans, helps more sports fans find us. Now, if you're like me and you're a big football fan, you feel kind of sad. You just watched an amazing Super Bowl, an incredible game between two extremely well-coached teams, two outstanding teams, two teams with quarterbacks who played just out of their minds and out of this world in this game. Two coaches who really did an outstanding job all season long, but obviously only one team could win. That was the Kansas City Chiefs, 38-35. But you also, if you love football, you're kind of sad because that was the last game of the 2022-23 season, and we won't have another meaningful football game in the NFL at least until September. So there's a lot to do between now and then. Obviously, you know, you got the draft coming up and free agency and USFL if you're into that. But on the NFL front, you got, like I said, you got the draft coming up, you have free agency, then rookie minicamp and training camp, and then you get into the preseason, so on and so forth. But right now it's mid-February, and we're not really going to kick off again until early September. So it's going to be a while, but you know, I guess you can't have football all year round, or you probably wouldn't appreciate it the same way. So let's get into some quick reaction on the Super Bowl. First, before I get into the Chiefs and the great job they've done, just give kudos to the Philadelphia Eagles. Obviously, we know in big boy sports, there's no moral victories. We don't do that, but just a tremendous season. Jalen Hurts has just come such a long way from a guy many thought was a project when the Eagles drafted him 3 years ago in the second round. If you just look at his numbers since he's been in the NFL, he's just gotten better and better. Tonight made history in the Super Bowl. This guy, you know, 304 passing yards, 1 touchdown, no picks. Also ran for 3 touchdowns and 70 yards. So you look at it and you say he's responsible for 4 touchdowns, and then obviously he threw the other one to A.J. Brown. So, you know, scored 4 on his own, just absolutely incredible. Scored 3 on his own, just incredible. Oh, and the 2-point conversion, really, you know, tried to put the team on his back from him all season, but it just wasn't quite enough, and Eagles came up short. You flip over to the Kansas City side, Eagles were leading at half and looked really good, but Andy Reid, one of the greatest offensive coaches in the history of the NFL, maybe in the history of all of football, comes out in the second half. Kansas City scores on every second half possession and goes ahead to win the game. And what really gets you is in the past, Andy Reid has kind of been knocked for his late game snafus, but we saw this one perfectly manage the clock on that final drive, got down to a point where they were able to kick the winning field goal with only 8 seconds left, and that pretty much secured the game. He'd even run in a touchdown, but, you know, pulled up short, held off there so that, you know, they could run the clock all the way down before kicking the winning field goal. Pat Mahomes, we heard ad nauseum going even before the AFC Championship game about the high ankle sprain that he had suffered. Obviously, he played well through that in the AFC Championship game. Comes back in this game, doesn't have an elite game by Pat Mahomes standard, only 182 passing yards, but 3 touchdown passes, no interceptions, and just some huge key runs when his team needed it most in the fourth quarter to maintain possession and to move the chains. And Mahomes did Mahomes things, and he is now 2-time league MVP, 2-time Super Bowl MVP, 2-time Super Bowl champion, and off to an absolutely tremendous start to his young career, and is well on the path to being one of the all-time greats, if he's not one of the all-time greats already. So just tremendous kudos to KC and to Philadelphia. This, I think, was one of the best Super Bowls that we've ever seen. And, a lot of that has to do, again, and there's no disrespect to the players now, but a lot of that has to do with the rules and leaning so heavily in favor of the offense and not really allowing for dominant defensive teams such as we've seen in the past to really be able to win that way anymore, because you got the gambling influence and the fantasy football, and you've also got safety concerns and all that. So defense, for the most part, has almost been legislated out of the game. I mean, you still have really elite defensive teams, but you simply can't win that way anymore. You can't win like your 2000 Ravens or your 2002 Bucks, or even 2013, 2014 Legion of Boom Seattle Seahawks. That's just not how you're going to do it. You have to have some level of vibrant and dynamic offense, whether it's in your personnel, your execution, your play calling, etc. You have to be able to have that. And that's what we saw tonight. And the final score shows it, 38-35. You saw the offensive explosion basically in the second half from Kansas City, scoring 24 points, again, scoring on every offensive possession. And that's the greatness of Andy Reid. He made those adjustments. Spagnuolo made those adjustments defensively, and Philadelphia couldn't quite match up. Now, you love on that second to last drive by Philadelphia, where Kansas City had gone ahead and taken the lead, and it was 35-27. You love to see how Philadelphia, and literally Jalen Hurts, put the team on his back, brought him all the way back down the field, and ties the game up at 35. That's what you love to see. It was an incredible game. Who knows what we can expect again from Philadelphia next year. There looks like their offensive coordinator is going to be gone, and he's Shane Steichen. He's probably going to be the coach of the Indianapolis Colts. So how they fill that spot and how that affects what Philadelphia can do offensively, how Jalen Hurts continues to grow as a quarterback, all these things are going to play a role in what they do next year. But Andy Reid, if he's still around, Pat Mahomes is still around, the Chiefs are in great position to continue to have success. This is a team that's hosted 5 straight AFC championship games, and obviously Pat Mahomes has played in 3 Super Bowls already, won 2 of them, so he's not going anywhere. You'd have to be crazy to let him go away, get away. He's locked up for the foreseeable future, long term, basically. And so the Chiefs are in tremendous position to continue to be successful and have success. So all-time great Super Bowl. We'll have more talk about this during the week. Yeah, I guess that's it. Just an amazing game. Definitely got to do some more thinking about it in terms of a deeper dive and a deeper breakdown and what I saw and everything. But just overall, great game. I don't know if it was a classic, but it was a really outstanding game. A lot of fun to watch. A lot of fireworks. Loved it. Yeah, I guess that's it. So, yeah, I'm out. Peace.